wave to you? Yeah. I'll Taoiseach Shaw, do you need Sheila?
Do you want to just ask you a question as well, Jen?
Taoiseach, you said inside you're determined to meet your fiscal targets, but there's a little bit of uncertainty about that if you're talking about figures or percentages. And the chairman of the Fiscal Advisory Board was saying today it's risky going down the road of percentages. You need to stick to the 3.1 billion.
Well, I've indicated that the objective and our target is to have our deficit below 3% by 2015, and we will achieve that. Clearly, the Fiscal Advisory Council is an important entity. It's given its advice before and its view, and that was to go harder in a shorter time. And it's an advisory council, and it does very good work. But I think it's important to say that what we're talking about here is a matter for negotiation, and that negotiation will be based on information and on fact, and all of that becomes evident towards the back end of September. So there has been no discussion about this detail as yet at Cabinet level, or indeed between Cabinet and Troika. So as the information becomes available to the Minister for Finance, that will inform the decisions that have to be made and negotiated. But we do intend to meet our targets.
But he was talking about the danger of, we'll say, rowing back in relation to social welfare cuts, that could be a big risk. And already we've Joan Burton talking in that tone.
Well, we haven't dealt with the details of the budget yet. The Minister for Public Expenditure has been sitting down with quite a number of ministers about the ceilings that have been set for their departments, but clearly there are a number of major ministries where the situation has yet to be discussed and negotiated. So all of that, Eileen, is detail that has not been dealt with by Cabinet and will be dealt with towards the end of September as we prepare for the budget on the 15th of October.
Taoiseach, it was saying... Minister of State John Perry, firstly, it appears his financial difficulties stretch back about 2 decades now, on and off. Can I ask firstly, when was the last time you spoke to him about that? Secondly, do you believe that there is an inherent conflict of interest now between his public role and his private life, and do you still have confidence in John Perry?
Well, I spoke to John last week. Clearly there's a situation here where the court has given an order, and I believe from any sense of fairness that the Minister is entitled to work with his professional people to see is he in a position to meet the order of the court, which is for September the 2nd.
On the confidence issue?
Well, on the confidence issue, John Perry has worked exceptionally hard during his term as Minister of State with responsibility for small business. I can testify to this from the extraordinary lengths that he's gone to around the country in engaging with small and medium enterprises about opportunities for expansion of numbers. So insofar as his work rate or confidence in him is concerned, it's not an issue. He's got a problem here, obviously, and it's not an easy one for John Perry. But I do hope that by September the 2nd, both he and his professional people can deal with the order of the court.
If it isn't dealt with by September the 2nd, will you then seek John Perry's resignation? Would you ask him to leave his position?
Well, we're in a position here where the court has given an order, and I expect that the Minister will be given the time and the space to deal with the conditions of that order.
Taoiseach, but don't you have a problem? The Minister in charge of business has debts totaling £2.4 million. Can you possibly keep in that post?
Well, the bank in question has called in the loans. The matter has been before the court, and the judge has given a decision, and he's laid out that the parties involved here have until the 2nd of September to see can the condition of the court order be met. I think in our jurisdiction it's important that John Perry be given the time and the space to deal with the condition of the order of the court.
With that, are you...
quick question on the Letterkenny General Hospital. Is there any idea, even at this early stage, of whether we're talking millions, tens of millions, what the cost is likely to be?
I think you're talking about a pretty serious emergency situation here. I spoke to the Minister for Health this evening, who visited the hospital with health personnel. He gave me a blow-by-blow account of actually what happened here, in the sense that this is very substantial. Records lost, MRI, diagnostics, laboratory, walls to be deplastered and decontaminated. This is far more serious than was first thought. It means effectively that Letterkenny is out of operation for a considerable time, and that means calling on the assistance in respect of Derry, Enniskillen, Sligo and the community and there may be some other alternatives that may have to be considered as well.
He should,
So it's also an issue where the Minister will report as quickly as possible on the extent of what actually is required to deal with this.
And Colin with the final question. Thank you.
Hiishig, Laurton Chinfrey and Chlor Ebrard and Realtas Ida Shogas Gavis Shade. With the Sostic will Gavrig Malif or if Stratish Nagayga, or Kinkin Stratish Nagayga, and Stratish Fabriana.
Tá, agus tá ben seo dá ceantarin bhfuil ar a stáit na bheith duna go mar ceanna le an bhain job sa rialtas ó héamh an rinne gailteach agus an strateis sin fiúháin bhí cuine gon fóchaiste gon rialtas an seachtain sa caite I le na gailge agus an strateis atá le amach ag an ar a stáit. Tá fíorsásta leis an méid agratá dhéanamh agus an ceangaid agus an cóceangaid agus an írenacht atá lérá agus a chodig bhí ag an ar a stáit I go bhainte seo. So ó híomh bhí sa séideag de agus fehe agus an strateis tá sásta leis an sárabar atá dhéanamh ag an ar a stáit go bhainte seo.
Taoiseach, on the John Perry issue again, could I just ask, are you comfortable with the engagement between the Minister and senior executives in AIB, that he kind of used his title as Minister to refer to his personal position?
You don't expect me to comment on something that is before the courts. Clearly the judge has made a decision and an order here. I think from any point of view it's important that the party, in this case is John Perry or any other party, be given the time and the opportunity to see can they deal with the conditions set out in the order of the court.
Okay. Ladies and gents, thank you very much. We're running very late for everybody else. Sorry.